Welcome, Leo. This is Regina from Pacific Tarot, getting ready to do your November full moon reading, covering about the second half of November. I've laid out the axis with the Egyptian deck of the horoscope wheel. I'll clarify with an African tarot and finish off with an oracle card. If this reading resonates with you, if you find it useful or helpful, please like and subscribe to my channel because I believe you understand how much that helps me. And thank you to all of you that support me in all the ways that you do. I love your comments, so I appreciate that. Let's get started, Leo, with your overall energy for the second half of November. We have the Ten of Cups. The Ten of Cups is a wish fulfillment. It is a community of abundance. This is you enjoying every part of the fulfillment that you've achieved to date. This is also the process of achieving your goals, achieving the abundance that you crave that makes you feel secure and protected within a circle. This is about sharing that abundance and moving that abundance through the generation of new members of the community so that whatever you're participating in, you have an eye towards the ways in which more people can access more abundance within your community. This is simply put about sharing that love. In your 10th house, the house of your social position, your work, we have the Four of Swords. Leo, you have been in a long, protracted healing, as so many of us have. At this point, you've actually learned quite a bit from your willingness to confront those behaviors, attitudes, those ways that you have been triggered by uncomfortable experiences. Looking at your failures, disappointments with a clear eye to the choices that you've made, your responsibility and role that you played in those failures or disappointments. Understanding now the way to practice and build your spiritual foundation so that it is in greater alignment with your higher perspective that you have gained, your higher understanding of the ways in which you can choose and select those opportunities that are best suited for your long-term comfort and growth. This is you recognizing as you pull back and observe what it is you are creating currently in this present moment, how far you've come, how much you've learned, and you're now in the position to build a stronger prayer or mantra, a meditation around what it is that you envision as your success. In the first house, we have the Knight of Pentacles, or the Knave of Pentacles, which is like the Page of Pentacles. In this deck, it has a scribe vibe because that's what we historically thought of as a way that people learned about things, was they were apprentices or scribes to professionals and thereby learned all the necessary information and documentation practices that would help you to grow in that way. In this particular case, you are focused on envisioning what is possible in a situation that you find yourself in. And this is very consistent with this overall sense that you have about where you have advanced, how you've grown and developed as a spiritual person. This is now helping you to focus on the steps you need to take, the components of the vision and where they belong and fit together within you, so that as you begin to practice and move in directions, take the steps needed, you are in alignment with your most authentic self. In your fourth house, we have the King of Pentacles, and this is indicating that at your base, from your story of origin, family of origin, your history, your memory, You have a model. You were born to fulfill as a master of manifestation. This is you understanding all the components that success requires. And this is what's guiding you. This is what the mantra that you're developing through your experience, through your ability to look over the actions you've taken and what your choices and responsibilities have meant, the consequences of those. You're now well able to not simply envision the success you want, but the ways to get it and the ultimate picture of that success, that fulfillment. The seventh house. The house of significant others holds the Queen of Swords. And this is your ability to gather the information that you need, to seek the counsel you need, to be inspired by the ideas of others, and to actually facilitate the conversations, the discussions, the gathering of information and intelligence in a way that allows you to listen. You are listening non-judgmentally as you are seeking more ideas, more information, more inspiration, but in alignment with your truth. I'm going to clarify the wheel, the first house, the Page of Pentacles in the first house, clarified by the Ten of Cups in the second house, and the Six of Swords in the third house. Indeed, you are gathering up all of the resources that you need. This is spiritual resources, and I see you rich in imagination as you have aligned yourself with those things that matter to you. The values are what is dictating your possession, your ownership, the material manifestations of the supplies and resources you need to affect this vision that you have created, that you are in the process of creating, of internalizing deeply. You are moving away from a situation that is no longer fulfilling you. And in this particular case, this has to do with the ideas that you are seeking information about. You're recognizing that the intimate circle or the environment among your closest collaborators, partners, family members is confining you to the same chaotic stories, the same truths, the same information, recycled, and there's a sense that you are not being heard among this intimate circle of collaborators, these people that you're communicating with. It's interesting that your inability to be heard or to communicate with those within your inner circle is moving you to recognize the need to facilitate a larger communication, a larger way to gather information so that you are seeking outside of your intimate circle ways to move forward, ideas that will build your reality in a way that is desired for you. The King of Pentacles in the fourth house is clarified by the Fool in the fifth house and the Justice in the sixth house. You are absolutely liberating yourself within this intimate circle that I see. This intimate circle is very much about family members, siblings, very close friends, or people that you counsel, children, co-workers that seek an intimate understanding or guidance from you. You're looking at this with an eye to balance out some injustice that you've experienced. And this is appearing to be very much about the way in which you speak your voice, speak your truth. Perhaps don't feel that you have space for your truth within an intimate circle. This may be you as a family leader, a work leader, understanding that the team has been stuck in a cycle, replaying a cycle of old stories, and you are desperately looking for ways to fuel and inspire the way that you've always understood, the ideas and values you've always cleaved to. You're looking to go outside of that circle in order to address the injustice, the inharmony, the unfairness that you have experienced within this intimate circle. The Queen of Swords in the 7th house is clarified by the 5 of Cups in the 8th house and the Ace of Cups in the 9th house. The stories that you have been telling yourself and that you are now recognizing within your family, those things that have held you back are very much based on a sense of loss, a sense of being promised an experience that never came to fruition. My sense here is that you have been overlooked in some significant way. The things that others were expecting to receive and that in some ways may have received, you were not expected to receive those same resources, connections, events, or happiness. Instead, your job was to make sure that everyone else's needs were met. And I see you pulling away from this imbalance in your life and instead pouring what you're learning as you are liberating yourself from this cycle. I see you moving into a new position, moving away from what has been difficult for you so that you can actually live out the understandings and lessons you've gained from unhappy events in your past. This is a releasing of the remorse, and some sense of you has been mourning these losses. They may be losses from your earliest memories in life through your present situation that has been overwhelming your sense of self-responsibility, understanding why these experiences and what you've learned from them is actually leading you away from these old patterns of communication, of sharing information, of understanding, and of expectation. Because others expected perhaps little of you, you had internalized that and you are now rejecting that story. You are retelling your story. In the 10th house, the 4 of Swords is clarified by the Empress. In the 11th house, in the Strength card in the 12th house. Yes, you've needed a lot of strength to separate yourself from this role of provider and caretaker in your family. You've needed a lot of strength to be able to step into your vast power, your naturally occurring gifts, which you have felt and perhaps observed that you were not supported by those whom you have supported. Your ability to shine and be successful is finally occurring to you as something that you are deserving of. And it's taken a long time for you to understand that even as good things begin to unfold, even as you have managed to liberate yourself, stand up for yourself, and address the unfairness that you've experienced in your life, it has taken you a long time to get to a place where you understand some, if not most, of your purpose. Your purpose is tied to your power, and you have gone through a lot to get here, and you know that as you emerge, you are inviting more resistance from others. and you are preparing because of the experiences you've gone through over a very long time, where the even your presence evoked resistance from others. And now, as you're moving into that power, there is greater resistance that you now are no longer naively ignoring, naively assuming that others have the same intent that you have. I'm going to finish up this reading with the language of the flowers. And I've pulled Heart's Ease. And the key word is compassion. Tread a little more tenderly. I really love this because it underscores this idea that others may not be happy about your success or your unhappiness. Others, you are no longer assuming the same naive optimism that you may have supported others with in the past, assuming that your good karma is going to come back to you. Now, as you observe that others may not always be able to understand, or your success evokes fear from others, you're compassionate. And you can still you can still detach yourself from your emotions and do what you need to do, but you do it with compassion. I hope this has been helpful, Leo. Thank you for your time, and until next time, Namaste.